Some stories are like stars. To Kill a Mockingbird is one such story. Written in 1960, its message still reaches us today. Why does this tale of a small southern town hold such power? It speaks of fairness, courage, and growing up. These are timeless themes. The novel invites us into Maycomb, Alabama, a sleepy old town in the 1930s. Life moves slowly there, like a hot summer afternoon. But beneath this quiet surface, powerful currents flow. Maycomb is a microcosm, a miniature version of our own complex world. At its core, this story explores profound human questions. What is justice? How do we learn to be good people? What does it mean to understand another person? The book does not pretend these are simple questions. Instead, it gently guides us to think and feel. The themes of racial injustice, moral growth, and empathy are woven together. They form the very fabric of Maycomb's existence, and perhaps our own. These ideas are not relics of the past. They are vital, living concerns for humanity. We see this world through the eyes of a child. Scout Finch is our narrator. She is young, curious, and wonderfully honest. Her perspective is unique, unfiltered by the cynicism that can come with age. Through Scout, we experience the wonder of discovery and the stark realities of the world. Her journey of understanding becomes our own. Imagine a time not so long ago, the 1930s in America, the era of the Great Depression. Money was scarce, worries were plentiful. This is the world of Maycomb, Alabama. The story is rooted firmly in this specific time and place. The southern heat seems to rise from the pages. This setting is not just a backdrop. It shapes the characters and influences their choices. In Maycomb, society had its own unwritten rules. A strict social hierarchy existed. Everyone knew their place. Traditions ran deep, like the roots of ancient oak trees. Some of these traditions offered comfort and stability, but others were harmful, creating divisions and upholding prejudices. Understanding this social landscape is crucial. It dictates the orbits of everyone within it. The historical context of the 1930s South is crucial. Widespread poverty put immense pressure on families and communities. Racial segregation was the law of the land. These were everyday realities. They fueled the central conflict of the story. The economic hardship and the racial divide are not merely stage settings. They are active forces shaping events and challenging the characters. Life in Maycomb moved at a different pace. Summer days were long and sweltering. This unhurried rhythm of life is essential, letting the story unfold naturally. A shadow hangs over the town of Maycomb. It is the shadow of racial injustice. This is not a fleeting darkness. It is a deep, old wound in the heart of the community. The novel does not shy away from this difficult truth. It confronts it with honesty and courage. Racial prejudice is a central theme, a powerful current that pulls at everyone in the story. It is like an invisible disease, as Atticus Finch suggests. It infects minds and hearts, often without people even realizing they are sick. This injustice shows itself in many ways. Sometimes it is loud and obvious, like an angry shout. Other times it is quiet and subtle, hidden in a glance or an assumption. It exists not only in the dramatic setting of a courtroom. It is woven into the fabric of everyday life in Maycomb. It dictates who can live where, who can do what kind of work, who is believed, and who is dismissed without a second thought. These are the unspoken rules that govern society, often more powerful than any written law. The trial of Tom Robinson is the heart of the novel. It is the moment where all of Maycomb's tensions converge. The small-town courtroom becomes a vast stage. On this stage, the drama of justice and injustice plays out. All eyes are on this trial. It is a crucible, a severe test for the conscience of the community. The heat of the summer is matched by the intensity of the emotions. The fate of one man hangs in the balance. But more than that, the moral standing of the entire town is on trial. Tom Robinson stands accused of a terrible crime. He is a black man in the segregated South. His accuser is a white woman. In the climate of 1930s Alabama, this fact alone weighs heavily against him. Tom is portrayed as a kind, hard-working man. His only crime was to feel pity for Mayella Ewell, a lonely young woman. His testimony is simple and honest. It stands in stark contrast to the shifting, angry story told by Mayella and her father, Bob Ewell. Yet the color of his skin speaks louder than truth for many. Despite Atticus's powerful defense, the verdict is a foregone conclusion for many. Tom Robinson is found guilty. This outcome is a devastating blow to Tom, Atticus, and the children who witness firsthand the failure of justice. Section 5, Through a Child's Eyes. Scout Finch's Journey of Understanding. Our guide through the complexities of Maycomb is Jean Louise Finch, known as Scout. She tells the story as an adult looking back on her childhood, but her voice retains the freshness and honesty of youth. Her innocent perspective is like a clear lens. It allows us to see the world of Maycomb without the distortions of adult prejudice or resignation. Scout observes everything with a keen eye and an inquisitive mind. She asks the questions that adults might be too afraid or too accustomed to ask. At the beginning of the story, Scout is naive. Her world is relatively simple, bounded by her home, her school, and her summer adventures with Jem and Dill. She believes in the inherent goodness of people. She thinks that fairness is a straightforward concept, but as events unfold, her understanding of the world begins to change. She encounters hypocrisy, cruelty, and injustice. She learns that good and evil are not always clearly defined. Human nature, she discovers, is a complex tapestry woven with threads of light and shadow. Section 6, The Moral Compass, Atticus Finch and the Courage of Conviction. Atticus Finch stands as a pillar of integrity in Maycomb. He is a lawyer, a father, and a man of unwavering moral principle. In a town often swayed by prejudice and fear, Atticus is a steady guide. He is like a fixed star in a changing sky, providing direction and consistency. His strength is not loud or aggressive. It is a quiet, resolute courage. He believes in doing what is right, even when it is unpopular, even when it is dangerous, even when he knows he is likely to fail in the eyes of the world. Atticus has a unique definition of courage. He tells Jem that courage is not a man with a gun in his hand. True courage, he explains, is when you know you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway and you see it through no matter what. This is the courage he demonstrates in defending Tom Robinson. He understands the overwhelming odds against him. He knows the social ostracism he and his family will face, yet he takes on the case because his conscience demands it. He cannot ask his children to respect him if he does not live by his own principles. Atticus teaches his children, Scout and Jem, primarily through his actions. His consistency between his words and his deeds makes him a powerful role model. Section 7, Walking in Another's Skin, the Power of Empathy in Maycomb. One of the most profound lessons in To Kill a Mockingbird is the importance of empathy. Atticus Finch instills this value in his children. He tells Scout, you never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. This advice is a recurring theme throughout the novel. It is presented as the key to understanding others. It is a pathway to compassion. It is a tool to break down the walls of prejudice and misunderstanding. The story provides many examples of characters attempting or failing to practice empathy. Scout struggles to understand her teacher, Miss Caroline Fisher, a newcomer to Maycomb. Atticus encourages Scout to see the situation from Miss Caroline's perspective. Scout also learns to empathize with Walter Cunningham Jr., her poor classmate. She begins to understand his family's pride and their hardships. These small moments of dawning empathy are crucial steps in Scout's moral growth. Conversely, a lack of empathy fuels much of the conflict and injustice in Maycomb. The town's judgment and fear of Boo Radley stem from their unwillingness to understand him. The jury's verdict in Tom Robinson's trial is a tragic consequence of their inability or refusal to empathize with a black man. Prejudice thrives in the absence of empathy. It allows people to dehumanize others, making it easier to treat them unfairly. Section 8, Boo Radley's Shadow Understanding, Fear and Misjudgment. Arthur. Boo Radley is a mysterious figure who looms large in the imaginations of Scout, Jem, and Dill. He lives in a dilapidated house down the street. He has not been seen outside for many years. To the children, he is a source of both terror and intense fascination. They create elaborate stories about him. They imagine him as a monstrous, almost supernatural being. Boo Radley represents the unknown. He embodies the fears and prejudices that arise from a lack of understanding and direct experience. Initially, the children's perception of Boo is shaped entirely by town gossip and their own vivid imaginations. They see him not as a person, but as a local legend, a scary story come to life. Their games revolve around trying to make Boo come out. They are driven by a mixture of fear, curiosity, and a childish desire for adventure. They do not consider his feelings or his reasons for seclusion. He is an object of their speculation, not a subject of their empathy. Despite his isolation, Boo Radley performs quiet acts of kindness towards the children. He leaves small gifts for them in the knothole of oak tree, chewing gum, old coins, carved soap figures. When Jem loses his pants escaping from the Radley yard, he finds them mended and folded. During the fire at Miss Maudie's house, Boo silently drapes a blanket over Scout's shoulders to keep her warm. Section 9, Lessons from Maycomb, Echoes for Our World Today. The world of Maycomb, Alabama in the 1930s may seem distant, yet the lessons from To Kill a Mockingbird resonate powerfully in our contemporary society. The novel's exploration of prejudice, injustice, and the loss of innocence is not confined to a specific historical period. These are enduring human challenges. The echoes of Maycomb's struggles can be heard in the headlines and social debates of the 21st century. The story serves as a timeless reminder of the ongoing need for moral courage and compassion in our own lives and communities. Atticus Finch's unwavering commitment to justice, even in the face of overwhelming opposition, remains a potent example. His courage to defend Tom Robinson, knowing the personal and professional cost challenges us. It prompts us to consider our own willingness to stand up for what is right, especially when it is difficult or unpopular. In a world still grappling with systemic inequalities and discrimination, Atticus's quiet determination shines as a beacon. It inspires us to find our own moral compass and to act with integrity, even when the path is hard. The novel's profound emphasis on empathy is perhaps its most crucial message for today. In an era often characterized by division and misunderstanding, the ability to climb into someone else's skin and walk around in it is more vital than ever. Can we truly listen to those with different experiences? Can we strive to understand perspectives that challenge our own? To Kill a Mockingbird suggests that empathy is the foundation for a more just and compassionate world. It is the key to bridging divides and fostering genuine human connection. As we close the book, the story of Maycomb leaves us with lingering questions. How do we combat Maycomb's usual disease, the prejudices and biases that may exist in our own hearts and societies?